This award is given to an outstanding honors student from the graduating class in memory of Dr. Gerald Wilson, who was a beloved member of the APU honors faculty and a professor of Old Testament studies in the School of Theology from 1999 until his very unexpected passing in 2005. Often his widow, Diane Wilson, is able to be here with us to help award this prize to one of our outstanding graduates. In the years of Professor Wilson, the Honors College was really starting to blossom, and there was no one on the faculty who better personified the spirit of the Honors College than Gerald Wilson. And when he passed away, the faculty unanimously agreed, we want to recognize somebody who we think follows in the mold of Gerald Wilson. Somebody who pursues learning with an enthusiasm and an eagerness like no other. The award includes a copy of his last commentary that he wrote. He wrote a commentary on the book of Psalms. It also includes a certificate and a $500 check to allow the graduate to begin to build a professional library in their chosen field. So presenting the award this year is Professor Skyla Herod from the Department of Biology and Chemistry. Please welcome her.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to announce the recipient of this year's Gerald Wilson Honors Award. I have been privileged to serve as a student's research mentor and advisor for the last 3 years and have been blown away at his intellectual curiosity, abilities, and approach to scholarship. During his time in my lab, the student has been working on a project to better understand how maternal depression during pregnancy affects fetal brain development using a mutant genetic mouse model. This involves very complicated and technically difficult mouse brain surgeries and a wide range of experiments, from assessing an animal's social behavior to identifying different molecular compounds in the developing brain. I have trained many students, undergraduate and graduate, and he is arguably one of the very best, not only in his technical ability, but in his dedication to arriving early to prep, staying late to clean up, and in his desire to ensure that the integrity of the scholarship was not only his best ability, but the best. Sorry, I'm a crier. This student really invests in scholarship because he cares about excellence in the academy. It's not uncommon to see him in the lab late at night or on weekends because he wanted to make sure the experiment was done the right way, or because he was voluntarily mentoring newer members of the lab, or just because he was curious about the results of the hard work that he couldn't wait until later. He's the kind of student who loves learning for learning's sake, and who has taken every opportunity to master as many technical skills, types of theoretical and historical literature, analytical techniques, and presentation styles as possible. His research in my laboratory has taken him to present this scholarship at regional and national conferences in Monterey Bay, Chicago, San Francisco, and Minneapolis, for which he won numerous awards. And mind you, all of this involvement in research is voluntary, on top of his achievements in the classroom. Just yesterday, I had the honor of presenting this student our department's top biochemistry major award for achieving the highest GPA of all biochemistry majors, near perfect, having only earned 1 A- in his entire 4 years at APU. Over the years, we've shared many long conversations at the lab bench on the Christian ethics of animal research and how the approach to teaching advanced biomedical sciences should fit into the larger vision of a Christian liberal arts education and the developing honors college. His role as co-chair of the newly named Dean's Cabinet, and in particular, work with the Dean and faculty of the Honors College on development of curriculum and vision, has, I believe, been valued insight to all involved. Beyond all of his amazing academic and scholarly achievements, this student is genuinely the nicest, most well-mannered, joyful, respectful, generous, and caring humans I've ever met, whose love for the Lord shines to all who know him. He is truly a pleasure to be around, as faculty, staff, and students alike can all attest to. He is joyful, but not obnoxious. Can't reach. Humble, but not timid. And engaging, but not pretentious. For these reasons and many others, I am thrilled to name Gabriel Martin as this year's recipient of the Gerald Wilson Honors Award.
Well, congratulations, Gabe. I would say, as the Dean of the Honors College, one of the things that I have appreciated about you to an extraordinary extent is the effort that you have made to be a bridge between the honors program curriculum and the new Honors College curriculum. I don't know of anybody else who so wholeheartedly and enthusiastically adopted students throughout the college and said, we are one. We're doing different things, but we are one, and I'm going to make it so. In part, it's for that reason that before the award recipient was determined, that we had invited Gabe to share some words about his experience in the Honors College. So while this may seem that Gabe asked for this to be his show, that is not the case. As exactly as Skyla would have said, Gabe would have said, no thank you, I am not interested in that. But nonetheless, I am pleased to invite him to come and share a few words with you, and I will also give you your commentary and your check and your certificate. So Gabe, please come back up.
Well, hello. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's such an honor. I'd like to thank my mom and Dr. Herod for all they've done for me. Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Feels like not too long ago we were just starting our journey at APU, going to those yellow highlighted special events to get colloquial credit, trying to figure out which 2 points of the college triangle we wanted, sleep, friends, or grades, and hiking up a mountain before it tragically burned down. But look at us now. Whether you're philosophy or nursing, music or English, we've made it. We've survived all-nighters, become experts in exegesis and hermeneutics, and could write a 10-page paper overnight. Of course, we would never do that, but we could. And now we've got a degree to show for it. Congratulations. So we're now about to enter the world as adults, and it's going to be a lot different, I'd imagine. We can use APU buzzwords like intentional or community, and people in the real world will find those so powerful. We're leaving our safe APU bubble where nearly everyone we bump into wants to live their life for Christ and have lunch with you. And when we enter the real world, we are tasked with standing up for God's truth. See, in the world, we as humans tend to think truth is relative. Truth is what the majority agrees upon. Truth is whatever feels good. But it's not truth. Plato says, and of course I had to include Plato because we're honors students after all. Plato says that the natural world, as we perceive it through our five senses, only reveals a fallen shadow or incomplete version of the real or ideal truth. Think Plato's cave. And that is what the world has at best, a shadow of the truth. Plato says that trying to understand the truth of things by examining the natural world is not just folly, but dangerous and misleading. Fortunately, we as Christians, if we believe what our Bible says, have access to the real and absolute truth. Truth was revealed to us in the life, words, and person of Jesus Christ. We know the truth, and we have a responsibility to stand up for it with confidence and passion. In Matthew 12, Jesus says, anyone who isn't with me opposes me, and anyone who isn't working with me is actually working against me. In Romans 1, Paul, speaking to the Church of Rome, describes those who incur the wrath of God. He says they are, as far as I can tell, people who don't uphold the truth. They are people who oppose God. He says that people who have earned God's wrath are those who God abandoned to their shameful desires, those who suppress the truth by their wickedness, those who know God but neither glorify him nor give him thanks. But it's not only the people who are slaves to those things that God despises, which was each one of us before God set us free, but it's also the people who approve of those who practice them. If we want to stand with God, we must stand up for his truth. And here at APU, it's easy. It's relatively easy. We're surrounded by Christians, but that's about to change. Winston Churchill once said, "The truth is heavy, therefore few care to carry it." And it'll be hard to carry God's truth into the world. In fact, we will be hated for it. But Jesus tells us that the world hated him before it hated us. And because they persecuted him, they will persecute us. So as we go out into the world, let's take the communication and critical thinking skills the Honors College imparted unto us. Let's take the knowledge about God's truth APU has instilled in us, and let's help set others free through uncompromisingly standing up for truth, even when it's not easy, even when we're misunderstood, labeled, judged, and rejected. Just as Paul encouraged the early Christian community, I hope we will encourage one another. Because when Jesus comes back and asks us what we valued more, the approval of the world or the approval of our Savior God, I hope we can stand before him and say that we chose God. So congratulations, my friends, we made it. As we go out into the world, let's remember two things. One, we won't be able to keep our computers and valuables laying around on tables, leave for hours, and come back and expect it to still be there. And two, Jesus tasked us not to hide our lights under a bowl, but to put it out on display for all to see, giving light to those around us. So students, parents, faculty, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Truth, Jesus died for it. Now let us live it, defend it, and be willing to suffer for it. Thank you.
Get this back down to my level. I'm delighted to introduce Professor Carol Lambert, who is going to offer some final words of encouragement to you as you prepare